Well, dang, it's time to record another video. Hey, this is Joey, and this is my story. Man, today I'm struggling. I've had some childhood stuff come up, and I thought might as well talk about my emotions for a minute with you guys. Many people, they hide, or they don't want to deal with the hard stuff, and so they mask. I know I used to mask with drugs, alcohol, video games, you name it. I've definitely used it and masked my garbage with it. Childhood memories are coming up for me of emotional turmoil. So one of the tools, before I dive in, let me talk about one of my tools that I use with other people. I call it a trigger map, and it essentially goes like this. What triggers are you aware of in your life? And you start with just one. So here's the deal with triggers. That's a word that people don't like, and yeah. A trigger is simple. Something external causes an internal response. That's a trigger, okay? In my world, that's a trigger. Some external thing causes a response. What you do with the response is your responsibility. And one of the purposes of the tool that I have, the trigger map tool, is to create space and time between your stimulus, the trigger, and your response, your reaction to the trigger. And so first off is identify what's going on for you. So this trigger causes me to feel incredibly sad, and I want to hide, and I want to run, and it's caused me to nearly get a divorce multiple times, and to just think I'm not enough. Honestly, not enough at all. Then maybe I shouldn't be on the earth at all. So with that, I've identified the trigger. Once I've identified it, what it is, identify what is the response that my body has. And so for me, my body's response is that I get sad in here. I get a tight feeling in my stomach. I nearly tear up, and it's difficult to want to do a whole lot of anything. I don't want to be around my loved ones, and I don't feel like I deserve love or kindness or happiness. And so that's some of the emotional responses and physical responses. And then spiritual responses, I cut myself off from God. So once we go through the responses that I'm having in my body, I go through and I take a look at what are the costs in my life because of this trigger and the responses that my body has. And the cost for me is disconnection, huge disconnection with my wife, even with my kids, and with my God and with myself. The other costs that I have are relationships with my business. I'll stop myself from going out to lunch with people. I'll stop myself from reaching out and sending emails, creating content, other than today. So other than right now on this video, I decided to lean into the pain and create a video about how I work through my emotional crap. It's funny, there's this misconception that people who are like me, who help other people through really hard emotional stuff like I do with Refind You or these other tools that I have, that I'm some kind of flippin' guru, that I've got my shit figured out and that I just never have bad days. And I'll tell you this, the people who are selling you that stuff, they're full of crap. They are so full of crap. Nobody can sit here and tell me that every day is perfect. It just doesn't work that way in life. And those who are selling you that are liars. Get away from them as fast as you can. I know a few other programs like that. You know who you are. So anyway, back to the trigger map. After the cost in my life from the trigger, I take a deep look at where does it come from? What is my earliest memory of this particular trigger? By the way, some of you will have to start with like anger or rage or fear or tired. There's a lot of different triggers that happen. There's positive triggers, by the way. Triggers are an external stimulus that causes a response. So positive or negative, these are all triggers. And so for this one, there's stuff when I was 3, and then there's stuff when I was 8 years old. And so I have those pinpointed. I'm not going to share them on here, but I have those pinpointed, and they're very painful. And I've created some massive stories. So the next step is, what story do you tell yourself? When this trigger comes up, what do you believe about you? Or what do you decide about you? And for me, I've decided that I'm bad, that I'm not worth it, that I'm not wanted or not needed. And man, that's painful. It's painful to feel that way because it's in my core. Like it is like almost a core belief. And I've worked through a ton of the energy, but man, this is coming up this week when I was around my family for the holidays, which is often when triggers come up, by the way. Family, man, they bring out the but worst in us sometimes and the best. So once you've kind of been able to identify where it comes from, and traditionally you're going to want to write all of this down, right? You want to write this down so you can truly map it out. It's what do I do now? And there are tools that I use. The number one tool in our arsenal when we are feeling disconnected is connection. And that doesn't mean that you have to go out and hang out with your buddies. It can mean that. Some people use music, some people use exercise, some people use phone calls, texts, email, writing. Some people go and take their shoes and socks off and stand in the grass and do mindfulness. It depends on the type of trigger that you're having. When I have a Army PTSD trigger where I'm just totally had a loud noise or a booming sound or bombs or gunshots or whatever, that can trigger that fight or flight hard inside of my system. And I will absolutely want to get the F out of any situation. I get angry and irritable. And when that trigger comes up, space and time and mindfulness are the only things that work for me. With this particular trigger of childhood stuff, maybe being held by someone that loves me and that's willing to just sit while I cry or sit while I'm having my emotional breakdown and I work through it. IFS, an incredible book, such an incredible book, is No Bad Parts. And it's IFS, Internal Family Systems. It's a therapy modality that I ascribe to hardcore. It's powerful. Anyway, there you go. So I'm having a rough day. There are days that suck for me. I'm super grateful to share my story with you guys. This one's a little different. Some are going to be sad and just grateful. If you want to learn more about the tools that have got or refined you or something like that, let me know. Shoot me a DM, like and subscribe, all of those fun things. And check out my website, refindyu.org. That is refindyu.org. And we're just out to love people and to help people heal from the crap that really isn't their fault, but it's your responsibility. Anyway, I love you.